The driver. It was roughly 5 p.m. I was in the passenger seat of the car my girlfriend was driving. On this day, she was driving around a roundabout that is notorious in the area for being difficult for anyone that doesn't know the roads very well. She had to exit where 2 lanes joined into one. As she was going around, a black car in the right lane soon joined onto the left, the one we were in. He indicated that he's coming over, and I tell my girlfriend to slow down and let him in front of us. She proceeds to slow down, but the car doesn't move from the lane. She then must have gotten impatient because she bolted past him, something she has never done before. In the rearview mirror, I saw the driver's middle finger fly at us, and I tell my girlfriend that although he should have gone in front of us, she was also in the wrong. She apologized and said she wouldn't do it again. We carried on driving until we were near our house. She pulled up in the driveway and we both got out of the car. All of a sudden, the black car pulls up on the curb to our house. The driver gets out and starts walking over to us. He was an odd-looking man, roughly 35 years old, 5 feet 8 inches tall, with dirty blonde hair, and was wearing a casual business suit with blue jeans. He stormed over to us and started yelling at my girlfriend about how she could have killed him, and that he would like to see their roles reversed. I see my girlfriend is almost crying at this point, and I ask the man to calm down. He then leaps out at my girlfriend, arms stretched. I grabbed him by the waist with both arms and slammed him to the ground. I may have been fairly young, but I'm no weakling. With this, the man gets up, runs to his car, and drives away. I hug my girlfriend, tears rolling down her face. After a little while later, we calm down and we go inside for a quiet dinner. We played on the Xbox for a couple of hours and then went to sleep. I woke up the next morning to my girlfriend frantically shaking me to wake me up. I smiled until I saw the sheer panic in her face. It was as if she'd seen a ghost. She dragged me to the window, and who was outside was the man in the black car. I thought about calling the police and suggested it to my girlfriend, but we never did. We freaked out. We went outside and we opened the door slowly. The man was now on the other side of the street, but still looking directly at us. We kept eye contact with him all the way up to the driveway until we got to the car. As we were getting in, we heard a noise. The man was walking towards us with a crowbar in his hands. At this moment, we jumped in the car and sped off fast. After dropping my girlfriend off at work, I went to the car park to drive back home when I saw the same black car parked a few spaces away from me, but with no sign of the man. I quickly ran inside my girlfriend's workplace to find him sitting in the waiting room. When I entered, he glared at me with the look like an animalistic state of mind. I walked over to him, furious. "What do you want?" I asked quietly but with a serious force behind me. He didn't answer, he just continued to glare at me until I saw something in the coat pocket. It was a knife. I backed away and left the building and called my girlfriend on her office phone. I told her that the same man was in the building and with a knife. I told her to stay in the office, and then I called the police. After explaining everything over the phone, they arrived shortly after. Fortunately, the man was still there. 2 police officers then entered and arrested him. We never heard from him ever again. Number 2. The van. When I was a little kid, about 9 years old, I lived in a safe Southern California suburb. It was one of those World War II boom towns where the population was mostly aging baby boomers whose kids were too old to be playing in the streets. It was kind of like how neighborhoods are today. No one was outside, everyone was indoors. It was the 90s, so my parents let me walk home every day from school. It was the same route, up the hill, down the hill, around the bend, and a mile to my house. One fall day, I was walking home with my heavy backpack filled with textbooks. I hated how much the weight pulled down on my shoulders. The padding in those JanSport straps wears out quickly. But anyways, I was halfway home, descending the hill, and made the best of it. That's when I heard a car start up behind me. Since it was the 90s, I had stranger danger pounded into my brain as long as I could remember. I glanced behind me and saw a beat-up old 70s work van with tinted windows. The black paint job was fading everywhere, and the van was quite weathered. I thought it was scary, but I reasoned that it would drive away soon enough. It didn't. I walked down another block and saw that the van had moved with me, engine running, idling on the side of the road about a block behind me. I wanted to run, but I couldn't. I didn't have anywhere nearby to go, and besides, if I ran, I figured the shadow in the windshield might act. I reached the bottom of the hill, rounded the bend, and started walking through some neighborhoods. And sure enough, the van pulled around the corner and sat at the curb, always staying about 20 feet behind me. I knew my parents would beat the ever-living shit out of me if I dropped my backpack and lost my books, so I ran as fast as I could with my overfilled backpack. I looked back and saw the van literally creeping along the road towards me. It was then that I remembered the one family with kids along my route. They were on this street and usually playing out in the front yard. I was praying that they would be there, but the yard was empty and the lights were off. So I calmly walked up to the front door, got out my keys, and pretended I lived there. I figured if I rang the doorbell and no one answered, I'd be doomed. So I had to act like it was my house. I leisurely stood in the yard and called out, "Hey Dad, I'm home." Then I looked back at the van and started chanting the license plate number out loud at the top of my lungs, like I was trying to memorize it. Then I ripped a notebook out of my backpack and pretended to write it down with a pencil that I didn't have. After my little show, the van pulled a U-turn and peeled away. I sat on the curb and cried for about a half an hour and walked home. I never told my parents about the incident. Thanks guys, please share, comment, and subscribe for more videos. And remember, never forget to lock your doors.